How many times has Homer truly changed for the better, and how many times has Homer intentionally made himself horrible again because he is too used to doing the bare minimum and getting away with it? Well, Homer becoming a genius is definitely one of those moments where we get a glimpse of a man who could have done something with his life, only for it to be taken away.
Is there no place for the man with the 105 IQ?
The Simpson family travels through tubes to get to their couch seats, but instead of Bart showing up, a strange boy takes his place. The mistake is quickly rectified, and Bart is dropped in his usual spot. In a surprising turn of events, Homer takes Marge and the kids to an animation festival. All manner of wacky animations are being displayed, and Bart instantly takes an interest in Japanese animation. No one forgets their first anime. But Lisa is confused by the whole thing. She doesn't understand why a wolf is shooting webs. Clearly, Lisa still isn't aware of the rule that anything goes in an animation. It doesn't have to make sense.
Cartoons don't have to make sense.
He's right, you know.
Even Ned Flanders has brought his kids to the festival, and they enjoy a Christian cartoon about blowing up Planned Parenthood, just the type of family show that Christian families would love. Lisa then watches a panel where a man introduces characters from cartoons, but it looks like people are calling him out on stealing the voices for the cartoons from other media. Even Homer and Marge find a booth that they enjoy, and they watch an animation of Itchy and Scratchy, where the cat and mouse pretend to make out, but then Itchy brutally kills Scratchy. And the entire thing ends with the cartoon characters promoting cigarettes. So just the average cartoon from the 1950s. Homer is completely fine with the cartoon smoking, but he doesn't want to see Itchy and Scratchy making out like that.
Wait a minute, was that cat making out with that mouse? 'Cause if they were...
One of the main events at the festival is the showcase of motion capture animation. Homer doesn't skip a heartbeat to volunteer and immediately gets into the motion capture suit. His movements are mimicked by an adorable dog on screen. Everyone seems to love the act. It's like Homer has created an entirely new character.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. And that's the truth.
Homer continues to have fun with the motion capture suit, and even the audience enjoys his act. The following day, when Homer returns from the festival, he can't stop talking about the motion capture suit. Homer believes that the suit can save the entirety of America. He truly thinks that motion capture is the future and will be worth billions of dollars in the future. In fact, Homer is so passionate that he decides to withdraw all of his life savings and invest in the motion capture company. Homer doesn't spare a second and immediately goes to the bank. Even though he requires a signature by Marge to make the withdrawal, Homer just pretends to be his wife and manages to retrieve the money. It's not a lot of money, but it's all Homer needs.
Yes, I see that it's in bill form. Excellent.
Homer then goes to Springfield Mall, where he heads over to the place where he can buy stock. Homer invests all of his money into Animation Incorporated, despite not knowing a thing about stock exchange and the potential to lose money. In his mind, Homer believes that he is already a millionaire.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
Now that Homer has invested the money, every day he checks on the value of this horrible financial decision, and for the first few days, the stock seems to be doing well. Homer has really invested all of his hopes and dreams into this company as well.
Sleep tight, my beloved. You're my ticket out of this hellhole.
Homer.
Sorry.
Later on, Homer watches the news and learns that the Animation company has filed for bankruptcy. Everything that Homer was hoping for is now in the garbage, and he has no choice but to reveal the truth to the family. So, Homer calls a family meeting and slyly tells Marge and the kids that he wasted their life savings. Now that the cat is out of the bag, Homer is worried about the future. He has to come up with a way to solve the family's horrible financial situation, a problem that he started. Homer first suggests to Marge that she should turn into a surrogate mother, but that idea is crazy.
You rent your womb to a rich, childless couple. If you agree, signify by getting indignant.
Are you crazy?
Marge has to control her anger. She married Homer of her own accord, and now she must deal with his craziness. Later on, Homer sits at Moe's Tavern, drinking his sorrows away. This time, Barney is the one with the crazy idea, and he tells Homer to become a human guinea pig. Apparently, Barney earns money by letting every organization experiment on him. And despite a low IQ, very bad health, and a face that looks distorted, there is nothing wrong with Barney. So, Homer decides to give this new money-making method a try as well. Once again, Homer spares no effort and finds himself in a medical research center. The first couple of tests are pretty easy. Just a few burns on Homer's body, and him turning blind for a moment. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm blind!
Who's gonna buy a pill that makes you blind?
Homer is then given a couple of more tests, and this time he is losing against a rat. But the rat isn't even part of the experiment. The researchers realise that Homer is a little too dumb to take part in the experiments, and they decide to take a look at Homer's brain. After a careful look, there seems to be something lodged within Homer's brain, and further investigation reveals that Homer has a crayon stuck in his brain. The researchers tell Homer about this discovery. Now, all the years of stupidity make sense. Because Homer's brain was being stabbed by a crayon this entire time, the researchers ask Homer if he recalls how something like this could have occurred. And Homer remembers when he was 6, he decided to see how many crayons he could stick up his nose. But it looks like he never got all of them out.
Oh, I don't feel so good.
The researchers offer to remove the crayons for Homer, and he decides to get the procedure done. When Homer returns home, he is already a changed man. He can say smart things now, and even invites the family to go to the library with him. Lisa is going to love her father even more now. The following day, Homer actually reads several books in one sitting, and Lisa is amazed at her new father. She was always hoping her father would become her library buddy. Back at home, Homer spends his time listening to classical music and solving several Rubik's Cubes, the exact opposite of the mindless beer drinking and television consumption that Homer usually partakes in. Homer even uses his intelligence to actually make Ned Flanders feel bad. Homer shows Ned a calculation he did, which proves that God does not exist. At first, Ned thinks it's another one of those classic stupid Homer jokes. But he is shocked to learn that Homer is right, and Ned tries to burn the proof. But there is no stopping Homer now.
Can't let this little doozy get out.
Homer's intelligence is now known far and wide, and he is invited to Springfield Elementary to inspire the kids who are a little slow. Lisa has never been prouder of her father. Homer is actually saying smart things and leaves a good impression on the kids. Meanwhile, at the power plant, Homer decides to mail out a safety report on the power plant and give it directly to the authorities in charge. It seems like Homer's new intelligence has made him a diligent worker, and now he is actually taking his job seriously. Lenny and Carl support Homer's decision, because at this rate, the power plant will get them killed. After some time, Mr. Burns informs everyone of the investigation being done by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and it turns out that he will be firing everyone. So, this means that Homer's grand gesture just made everything worse. And now, everyone hates him for being a smart ass.
Hey, you can't hate me! I'm your better! You're better!
Later at night, while Homer reads a book, he comes across a mob at Moe's Tavern. Everyone has gathered to burn a doll that looks like Homer. They are upset that Homer's intelligence has made them all unemployed losers. This is not what Homer was hoping for. He goes back home and asks Lisa why it is so alienating to be intelligent, but that's just the way life is. Homer then tries to make himself feel better by watching the latest Hollywood flick. The entire theatre is laughing at the jokes, but Homer is the only one left confused. He doesn't find the movie funny at all. And soon, the mob turns on Homer once more, as the man points at all the predictable plot points in the movie.
Point out your plot holes elsewhere.
Homer's life is truly a lonely one. No form of cheap entertainment is enough to keep him distracted, and everyone hates him for being a know-it-all. Homer decides to go back to the research center to go back to his old self. The researchers are not willing to help, but they know a guy, and this guy is none other than Moe himself. Homer then finds himself with Moe. He's ready to go back to his old self, as Moe proceeds to stick a crayon up Homer's nose. Back at home, Lisa creates a card for her father, but she notices that one of her crayons is missing, and the truth hits her like a truck. But it is too late. Moe has already completed the procedure.
That's pretty dumb, but,
Extended.
Moe really makes sure that Homer is dumb again. In fact, he might have made Homer dumber than before. Homer finally returns home, and Lisa is devastated to see her father return to his usual self. She was hoping to connect with her father, but Homer had more pressing matters at hand. However, Lisa does discover a letter written by the old, intelligent Homer, and she finds the words very meaningful. For Lisa, her father will always be wonderful, no matter how dumb he gets.
You want a hug? Well, that I know how to do.
It was nice to see Homer being a genius, not like the drunk idiot he is. Just like the time he completely lost his memory, and he might have done something truly terrible. If you want to see what happens, click on this video next, but not before you subscribe and like the video.